and welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. It's an early start for Derby County today. The Rams heading to Blackburn Rovers in their final fixture before the international break. Derby looking to make it 5 wins in a row in a game packed with subplots. The biggest storyline being John Eustace making his return to Ewood Park, the first time the Derby boss has been back to Blackburn since leaving Rovers for the Rams in February. Blackburn were in the playoff places at the time, remember. There are 7 former Derby Blackburn players in the current Derby squad, 5 of whom played for Rovers as recently as last season, although Dion Sanderson, the only one who's likely to start today. Injury will keep out the former Blackburn and current Derby captain Lewis Travis. You wonder what sort of reception he would have got from the locals. And both Derby and Blackburn are putting winning streaks on the line today. The Rams have won their last 4, Rovers their last 3. The home side also celebrating their 150th anniversary this afternoon. More on them in a few moments. Well, Derby kept their winning run going with victory over Hull at Pride Park on Tuesday night. Bobby Clark has been a revelation for the Rams since moving into midfield.
Yeah, obviously going into the game, both teams were in form, so we knew we'd be in for a good challenge, but thought we'd done really good in the first half, played some really good football. And then second half maybe died off a little bit, but we dug in and got the 3 points.
I know you haven't known him for as long as some of the guys in the squad, but you all looked absolutely delighted for Lars-Jürgen Salvason who got that winning goal.
Yeah, obviously he's been through a lot with injury, and I see him every day on the training pitch. Even when he's not playing, he's giving his all, wanting to get better, and then yeah, I was delighted when it dropped to him and he took his chance.
A harder chance than maybe looks at first, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When it drops like that and it's an open net, from that far out, everyone thinks you should score, but you've still got a lot to do. That
win made it 4 in a row, makes you the form team in the Championship now. Give us a sense of the feeling in that dressing room at the moment.
Yeah, I think even before these wins, we were seeing good stuff still, but obviously the luck wasn't going our way in certain situations, but now it's clicked and we're looking a really strong team.
You played a big part in the run, starting the last 3 in central midfield. How pleased have you been with the part that you've played in it?
Yeah, obviously moving into a more central role in there with David, I think I'm really enjoying it, to be fair. It's something a bit different, playing as a bit more of a deeper role, obviously, but no, I'm really enjoying it.
That's the conversation I wanted to have with you, actually, because you're listed as a central midfielder, but I think when you signed, certainly my perception was you were more of an attacking player, maybe a winger as well. So what's been your career journey? Sort of where have you generally found yourself so far?
I think when I was younger, I was a midfielder for a while. Then I'd say when I got to around 14, 15, I started playing a bit more higher up the pitch. And then obviously when I went to Liverpool, I played on the wing for my first season. And then when I started to go with the first team there, that's when I got put a bit more centrally. So I'd say I like playing attacking, but I like being in the centre of the pitch as well, because I feel a lot more involved in the play, yeah.
Yeah, what are the different demands of what you're being asked to do at the moment from maybe what you've not been asked to do before?
I think obviously playing as a 2 in midfield, there's a lot more demand on break and play up and stuff, which I'm quite enjoying, to be fair, at the minute.
And talk to me about the relationship with David Ozo, who you're playing next to, and there it seems to have clicked really well between the 2 of you.
Yeah, it's going really well. Like, he does stuff that I can't do and I do stuff that he can't do, so I think it's going really well. And it's strange, obviously, because I remember a few years ago in England camp when we were really young, he was there, and yeah, he's came on massively in them years since then as well.
Are you guys close off the field as well? Same age, I think.
Yeah. We speak a lot off the pitch, obviously knowing each other for a few years and stuff, so yeah.
And does it help that the manager played that position? Is John Eustace able to give you a bit of insight that maybe other people, the managers, wouldn't?
Yeah, he gives me and David a lot of information and help about the position, obviously, because I've never really played deep role in midfield, as I've played midfield, but more licensed, yeah.
It's a busy week. You played Saturday, you played Tuesday, now off to Blackburn this weekend as well. What are the biggest challenges you're finding of the schedule when it's like this?
Yeah, they do come. The games come around fast. Obviously, you win on a Saturday, but then it's straight to thinking about the Tuesday game and winning that one.
Is it getting the information on board? Is that sort of the biggest thing for you?
I think the team here and the staff, they do it really well. Everything's planned ahead of time, so you know what you're doing when the next game comes.
And how much would you love to make it 5 in a row this weekend?
Yeah, I'd love to keep this form going and going into the national break with 5 out of 5. That would be top.
That's Derby midfielder Bobby Clark. The Rams could move to the fringes of the Championship playoff places today. Hosts Blackburn looking to put more space between them and the Championship relegation zone after a tricky start to the season. Yeah, they picked up just 7 points from their opening 10 games, but 3 wins in a row over Southampton, Leicester and Bristol City on Tuesday have calmed Rovers' relegation worries for now. Although the win at Ashton Gate came at a cost, goalkeeper Ballas Toth and defender Scott Wharton added to an already long injury list. The hosts hoping that won't put a dampening on today's celebrations. Blackburn were founded 150 years ago this month. They're marking that occasion today against the Rams at Ewood Park. And Derby, not a bad pick for an opponent for Rovers to do that today, by the way. They're on a 6-match winning run over Derby at Ewood Park. Rams boss John Eustace playing for Derby the last time the Rams enjoyed a victory in Ewood Park. That was 11 years ago. His side already have 2 wins under their belt this week, though.
The lads are looking great. You know, we trained really well today, which was good. Everyone's in a real good place, and really looking forward to the game on Saturday.
What about Lars-Jürgen Salverson? Still smiling?
Yeah, he hasn't stopped smiling. I think the lads haven't stopped smiling as well. You know, it's a fantastic, fantastic goal for him. I think to score after such a difficult time out with injury, and then to come back and only be a big part player at the moment, you know, is frustrating for him for sure. But to get that goal, you know, it's lifted the whole dressing room, because we're so proud of him and the efforts he's put into to be back playing, and you know, we're delighted with him.
He talked a lot about the emotion and the time he had out and how difficult it was at times. I imagine that's something that you can relate to from your playing days.
Yeah, for sure, but it's important that dressing room keep you going, and you know, we've got a fantastic dressing room in there. We've got some great characters, and I know that the boys have kept right behind him as they have with the other injured boys as well. So you know, that's all part of building and recruiting correctly, and you know, through them difficult moments, just not on the pitch but off it, when you're going through injuries or suspensions and you know, or problems at home, then you know, that dressing room are there to look after each other.
Lars also talked about his relationship with Carlton Morris, and talked about how he's an inspiration. I know we've talked a lot about Carlton and we've talked about the goals, but can you give us a bit of insight into how important he is to the dressing room, and again, when you talk about character?
Yeah, again, I think when recruiting players, especially players in their late 20s, you know, clubs are sometimes a little bit reluctant to do that because there's no resale value and whatnot, which I half understand. But then you've also got to realise what good experienced players bring to any dressing room, and I think we've got the best in the business in Carlton. You know, I knew about his reputation before, but you know, working with him every day, it's kind of bypassed that, you know, and you know, he's been instrumental up to now, and he's going to be even more so during the season, and to have that experience around the likes of Lars and Patrick and players like that, you know, he's great.
So 4 wins in a row for you, 3 wins in a row for Blackburn, your opponents on Saturday. What have you made of them recently?
Yeah, they've been great recently. You know, they've obviously started slowly like we did, and you know, they've done terrific. They're a really good, hard-working team. They're coached very well, and it's going to be a really difficult game. It's
such a competitive division. How hard is it for any team to put together the sort of runs that these two teams are on at the moment?
Yeah, I think just it's relentless, and you know, you have to be lucky with injuries and stuff like that. And you know, you just got to keep believing over the course of the 46 games. You go on good runs, you go on bad runs, and you know, to go on the run that both our teams have done up to now is a great achievement, and it's just important that you don't get too carried away with it and you go into the next game ready and prepared, and you know, I'm sure both teams will be.
There is the Derby boss, John Eustace, ahead of his return to Ewood Park today. The Championship takes another break next weekend. The final round of fixtures today, headlined by the game at Stoke, where Mark Robins faces his former club almost a year to the day that he was sacked by Coventry. That's also second against first in the table. There's doubt around Rob Edwards' future at Middlesbrough. His pre-match press conference was cancelled yesterday. Borough welcome Birmingham later. Well, Coventry will be top of the table tonight. Whatever happens at Stoke later, there are 7 teams separated by 3 points in the playoff chase. Derby could end the day only outside the top 6 on goal difference. Blackburn could climb 5 places with a victory themselves, and no one's getting out of the relegation zone today, with Norwich and Sheffield United both 4 points from safety. But you get the sense it'll be about more than just points at Ewood Park later as Blackburn Rovers face Derby County this lunchtime. You can watch this one on RamsTV only in the EFL's Unsold Markets. Go to dcfc.co.uk for a complete list of countries where you can watch the game and to get your game pass as well. Again, dcfc.co.uk, the place to go for that. We'll be back here with a reaction after the game as well, whatever happens. Until then, goodbye.